Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, Narrowboat Electrician. It's been a while, yes I know. Anybody would think I'd been sitting down doing nothing, which has been very far from the case. So since we got back from Spain, it's just been mad. The season has started so early. I've just been running about a little bit too much to take the time to do much filming, so apologies for that. But I was going to say it's calming down, but I don't think it is. Today we're on to a Webasto Thermotop Pro 90. So the bigger 9 kilowatt heater. It's an install, but it's a bit different. It's a swap out from a Thermo Pro 90 ST. So just a bit of background on that. ECU problem. And maybe a few other things as well that we didn't get into because I couldn't get past the ECU problem. So basically the ST is discontinued. You can buy parts for it, but they are expensive. And talking to the customer, you know, if we want to get their ECU tested and I've got to go to Webasto, put it on a jig and all that sort of stuff, then the prices are starting to climb pretty high. Where it's starting to make more sense to, oh, I better give away, where it's making more sense to actually swap the unit out and get the 5-year warranty with the new Pro 90. So that's where we are. So it should be a fairly straightforward swap out. Everything's going to be new, obviously, because that's another thing with Webasto Marine now. You can't buy just the heater. You have to buy a marine kit to get the warranty. So the price is up there. So I've got to change everything basically. So all the wiring loom, the fuel pump, the fuel filter, everything I've got to change. So there you go. The customer is actually selling that Pro 90 to a friend or giving it to a friend or something where they're going to repair it or sell it for bits. I don't know. But there we go. I'm rabbiting a little bit as I do. So we're going to get onto that now. Just driving down towards the bridge now, where the boat's sort of moored. This is a bit of a walk up the towpath. Fantastic. Coming up, yeah, we've got a 1200 watt install the weekend on a wide beam. I talked about that at the time. We've got full lithium on the same wide beam with a Sterling buck boost, 120 amp. The Sterling on that, the reason we've gone to I like Sterling stuff, great, but the Victron buck boost 100 amp is now on a 9-week delivery time, and don't you just think that's going to stretch to whatever? I don't know if that was waving at me, must be somebody I know. Yeah, that's going to stretch to whatever, so the customer can't wait that long, so we've swapped over to the Sterling. A couple £100 cheaper, so so there you go, that's the way that is. So we're going to get that done as well. So there's another job there, lithium install with a Sterling buck boost that's coming up. Tons of other things, but there you go. Right, at the car park, let's see if I can squeeze myself in this private car park, so I know the code. Right, let's go up to the boat in a minute and we'll see what we find. Right, here we are on board. It's going to be one of them sort of busy days. Yeah, Thermotop Pro 90. Yeah, the Pro 90, that's it. Not an ST, because that's the old one. Right, so here we go. All the stuff. New exhaust. All the piping for the diesel line. What we got in here, a bag of mounting bits and exhaust clamps by the look of it. There we go, there. New exhaust material, or pipes, 2 of them. Air inlet hose. Skin fitting. on switch, which we won't need because there's a timer. Instructions. Water hose, which we probably shouldn't need. New wiring looms, or loom, and associated cables. And of course, a Pro 90 ST. Let's show you that, shall we? There you go. Not an ST, a Pro 90. Let's get that right, because there's a big difference. With that documentation, warranty stuff, new fuel pump, and yeah, there's the ST. So quite a few bits installed. It should be fun. I keep saying it should be straightforward. You watch. So right, let's get cracking, shall we? Right, so here's the engine bay. That's where the old one went. So it's a bit of work. Hopefully a lot of those fittings will be the same, but let's see. All right, let's get that mounted and then we can see where we're going. Right, here's the mounting holes here, and somewhere I've just had a bracket. There it is. So that fits on there like so, and there's so many bags here, as always is with Webastos. The mounting bolts will be in there somewhere. Okay, so here we are. It's bolted back in where the old one was. Luckily Webasto thought about that, and they're the same sort of footprint, same sort of size. What's happened really with these Pro 90s over the ST is the controls a lot more sophisticated. In a lot of cases they look very similar, but there are more probes. Like there's a water temperature probe on the outlet. You've got the gas temperature on the outlet on the exhaust. They're a lot more sophisticated control wise than the ST. So it's unfortunate where we are, but yeah, when one of these needs a few parts, it becomes a bit of a question mark whether you go for a new one or whether you repair the old one. Of course, that's down to the customer. You know, it's one of those things. But you know, testing this, finding a problem, we could already be up to like £200 or £300 just there. Then if the ECU needs changing, there's 500, which takes you like to 8. All the to in and fro in. Is there anything else wrong? It's the pump seemed to be okay, but we've got no drive out to the pump at all. So you know, do you need a burner? This one had a burner. The other one had a burner fairly recently, so. You know, it's one of them. You know, you get with the labour. I don't know, repair. Looking at maybe a £1,200 repair quite easily. You know, so and most likely more. So it's it gets to that point where you think, well, let's drop that and then put a brand new one in, and we get 5 years and we can forget about it. Money wise, that is. The unit is 5 years. The burner inside is a year. So there you go. That's what that is. Right. Okay. So that's bolted in. Water pipes are on and clamped, which is fairly straightforward. So now it's a case of now putting the new exhaust in, the new air inlet, and the new fuel pump. I might have a little bit of a problem here because this is the diesel tank under here. You can see all the lines come out down here, and the line to the Webasto. Okay, you can use this tap, and for boat safety they're okay with the pump being the valve, but I need to see if I can actually clamp this, because this tank's full of diesel, and once I clamp this off, once I take this off, I've got diesel coming out of here. So that's a little bit of a concern. I'm going to try and put the new filter on if I can. It might be that I just put the new filter, the filter body itself in, the actual gauze filter in, and leave the housing as it is, because there's nothing wrong with the housing, but we do want, you know, probably a new filter in there. So obviously screwing that down, I can take that filter bowl off, but if I undo that, then I've got diesel pressing down on that line, which is going to try and I don't want to go there. So I don't know on this. It might be, actually, I might try it, because this seam here appears to be a bulkhead. So I'm thinking that this part up to there, that weld there, is the fuel tank. So if it is, I can undo that and the fuel will drain back down, so I'll be okay. But I'll crack that open in a second and just see if diesel runs out or doesn't. If it runs out, I might be stuck on that one. Right, okay, so let's get this exhaust in, and get all that buttoned in. New silencer, new exhaust. They've changed the silencers also on the Pro 90s compared to the STs. I'll show you that in a second. Right, so there's the exhaust. I'm not leaving it resting on there, and I've got to put the sock over it as well, but I'm gonna have to re-drill the bulkhead, because here's the silencer on the new one, and if you compare it side by side with the old one, it's much bigger. And there's a few things as well, because these have drain holes in them, these don't. The reason for that, you shouldn't need a drain hole in them. These are more for like a van or something like that, where these would be mounted outside of the boat. You'll see these on lots of boats, but the marine kits have changed now, and the exhaust is sealed. The silencer is sealed, whereas these, they've got drain holes top and bottom. So there's a chance of exhaust gas escaping into the boat itself. We don't fit those anymore. So I've got to re-drill that there. So I'm just looking at this fuel line. Let's get this fuel line off, get the new fuel filter on, and see if that's a win. That's a long walk back to the van to fetch my drills and taps. Hey ho, there you go. Just sort of dry fitting that. I'm just going to do a few more bits and pieces, just in case, because what you have when the van's a bit of a distance away, you come back, do that, and then you think, oh, I need to get that out of the van, and off you go. So I'm going to try and do a few bits and pieces on the fuel line and the fuel pump, and see. I know I've got to fetch my flaring tool and that sort of stuff, but see if I can get this filter changed out, because that's a win then. I'm going to need a persuading screwdriver for that. You can tell he's been on the wall. Crack that here. Now, which one's easier to get out, one or the other? Excuse me. Since I had a right soaking on Monday, I've been bloody sneezing a little bit. Come on, pipe. Jeez. You can see how long that's been on there. It's moved a little bit. There we go. Right, hopefully no diesel comes out of this. But hey, it's a win! It's a win, so I'm going to change those rubber connector pieces as well. No point putting those perish ones on. Let's take that off. My God, this is tight. Well, okay. Boy, that might be saying as it is. I say, even this is a relatively, you would think, straightforward changeover. There's still a little bit of a graft involved to get it in. So obviously that's got diesel in it, so we need to be careful of that. Oh, don't cut towards yourself, Martin. Wow, that wasn't coming off there very easy at all. Okay, it's off and the end is flared, so that's good. So happy with that. Can I blow bubbles into the tank? I don't think, I'm pretty sure this ain't blocked, but I can't. Don't try this at home, folks. Right, okay, so here's the filter. Don't know what they've put a blanket sticker on there, but never mind. So there's narrow on these. So this is the inlet where the tap is. Well, when you put PTFE tape on, you need to put it on against the thread. What I mean by that is, if you see as I'm winding that in, where are we? Winding that in, then when I cut that off, when I screw that in, the tail is at the back, and that makes sense. So the tail is this way. So as I screw it in, it doesn't try and undo itself off the thread. Top tip, folks. So that one goes in there. And then there's the same for the outlet. And basically these two fittings are the support for the filter itself. And there we see there's the filter in. So just tightening the outfeed up. So this particular boat, this is on the bulkhead, and the pump, the outing pump's on here, so they've actually put foam on these to try and quieten them down a bit. So I'll go along with what they have. Okay, so that's that one. That's that one. New hose tail this side, which seem to be getting harder and harder to push on, or I'm getting weaker and weaker, I'm not sure. I'm getting rid of the old Jubilee clips, make sure they're on the same way, and then we get the diesel line pushed in. This is going to be a pig because it's flared pretty well. Oh, it's not too bad. Okay, so there's the diesel line back in. Okay, that's that. All good there. Righty ho. So next it's the dosing pump, which looks like it will just fit straight on there. Right, you're back over there again. So here's the dosing pump. And you can see on this particular one, not all of them, but you can see on this particular one, the arrow is pointing to the blunt end. Confuses some people. All Webasto pumps are shaped similarly, not exactly, but the pointy end of the body is not the direction of flow, it's the other way. So these actually have an arrow on, so you can't really go wrong, he says. Right, there you go. So there's that. And there's the mount, the rubber mount. So let's make sure that's on the right way. Yeah, if the vibration on these, because they're clicking constantly, if you put them on a steel bulkhead, or well, even a wood bulkhead for that matter, it will amplify that, and yeah, you'll hear that. Well, it's kept all the swarf out of the way, a little bit of cling film. The two lengths of exhaust you get are the same size. Same length, I should say. So just cut this in half. But yeah, like I say, it's not very... You don't need it in your lungs or anything. So I'll pop this on the exhaust tubes. Okay, that's one. For the exhaust silencer. I say, even though this is a direct swap, they're not quite direct. So, right, back inside. Like I said before, with these Webasto marine kits, you do pretty much get everything you need to install your heater. Right, so the exhaust tube is up onto the skin fitting and onto the outlet of the exhaust. Well, they're just silencers really, these. They're not, there's no direction on these. They're not muffled, well, there's no filters or anything in there. They're just to take some of the sound, deaden some of the sound. That's all, to the outside world. And easy for me to tighten up. Well, so you can see, whew, there's the exhaust out, through the silencer, up out onto the skid fitting. There is like a swan neck, like a loop, so it goes up, moisture doesn't come in and drain down into the heater. So that's that. Clamp those up. Got to fit the air inlet, which is easy enough. Clamp all those up, and then it's wire the pump in and the diesel line into the heater. So I've done the exhaust earlier on, because it's a bit more cumbersome. You know, it's easier to move a little 4mm pipe around than it is that big exhaust. So that's why I've done it that way. Just straighten that up a little bit so it looks a bit better. And yeah, we're cooking on gas. Or is it diesel? Might be diesel. Well, so I've just up at the air feed in, the combustion air supply. Just bent a little bit of fuel pipe. And I'm looking for my flaring tool, which is probably out here somewhere. Thing is, one end of that pipe already comes with a flare on it from Webasto. So if you're clever, you only have to flare one end. So here's my flaring tool. Sounds a bit weird, but anyway, there you go, crack on. And you can see all it does there is clamp the pipe, and then you have this little bit here that just screws down and just gives you that little bit of a, well, it's not great in here. It looks bright on the camera, but it's, yeah. So all you need to do then is just give that a turn, no more. If you flare it too much, you're going to get it in the pipes. So it's just that resistance to stop, or to make it more difficult for those pipes to come off. Okay, so that's what it's for. Okay, so just a little bit of a flare on there. You can see there, maybe not. So that's that. So yeah, onto the inlet and onto the pump. Yeah, with this pipe, I've talked about already the bulkheads there, and I've spaced and rubber mounted the pump. Better show you here. So it's already on a rubber mount. I've actually put another rubber mount on there as well. These pumps, when they click, if the pump's on that bulkhead or this pipe is touching that bulkhead, that click will go throughout the boat. So you want to keep this not keep this from touching the boat if you can. Okay, so that's quite important, because otherwise the customer's going to phone you up and say this noise is doing my head in, and then you're going to have to redo it anyway. So make that decision yourself, and yes, keep that fuel pipe from touching that bulkhead. So I'm just going to pop that on the fuel inlet. The install's done mechanically. So we have a set of few wiring looms. So the first one we look at is, so that's the main harness there. So get rid of that. What I'm looking for is the fuel pump harness, which is that one. So you get one end crimped on already, not the other. So you need to crimp that one on. So let's do that. Right, huffing and puffing as usual. I'll pull the wiring loom out from the old ST. Got it through to the box over there. Here's the old wiring loom back here to the fuses, and here's the new one. I hope there's an extension lead on that timer. Be pretty upset if there isn't. And yeah, I've got a crimp on all the cables here as well, so let's have a look, see what's up there. So as I suspected, there's a little bit of butchery going on here, so okay. Right, carrying on. I'm trying to eat a sandwich as well. The Webasto came up to here, Mark boiler. No. I see a lot of boat builders do it, and boat builders like Aqualine do it as well. Take it straight to the batteries, don't take it anywhere else. No connections. If you look on this one, nice job, guys, whoever put that in. But now this, extending these cables and putting them through other little crimp connectors and all that sort of stuff, you'd ask you for trouble. So I'm not doing that. So pretty much the whole harness is now out. So here's the new harness here. I've got a wire in the fuses, and luckily for me the batteries are just there. So that's what we're going to do, I think. Notice I didn't measure it out, but I'm pretty sure the Pro 90 harness is slightly shorter than the Pro 90 ST. Cheers, guys, thanks for that. Another foot of cable would have been really nice. But let's see how we get on, get these fuses mounted, get power onto the heater. Yeah, you can see that, like I say, this is nice. You can see the heater controller has been extended, so I need to look at that. But hey ho, right, okay, let's see if I can get the power on, and then we start talking to the heater a little bit. Okay, pushing a little bit further. This one goes to the heater box, fuse box. Let me have a look. Okay, so here it is. So the big cable goes to the CPU. The small cable goes to the clock. Small red. It's quite, they don't make it that plain, I don't think, but I've done it before, so there you go. So that's those two. These are unused on this particular heater. The browns go to negative, which I might, if I'm lucky, they might just go onto there. You can see the negative, all the negatives go up to that bus bar there, all the positives to that bus bar here. But I want, like I say, I want to go straight to the batteries. The fuses for the heaters are here, so it is fused. There's just literally no point going through other fuses, more connections, more things to go wrong. So yeah, get it to the batteries if you can. It'd be the first thing I'd do if I have problems with a heater, not this particular heater, but where you've got voltage problems, keep tripping out on low voltage. It's generally that. Right, I'm going to tie the cable up in there, and that'll tell me how much cable I've got here, which I don't think's a lot, but still. Okay, 12 volt power supply, plus 12, negatives down here. Might move it to the other side of the bus bar for the battery monitor. But anyway, that's connected up to the batteries almost directly, almost. I've still got to mount the fuse carrier there. This is what I've got to put in for or got to connect up for the diagnostic switch and control. This is now my laptop plugged into the Webasto, so it's alive. So I'm just priming the fuel pump, and you can hear that clicking away there. So something's going on. Take a while for that bowl to fill up. Right, after priming, I've just tried to start it. I've got one error, it's failed to start. Simple reason is the fuel hadn't gone up to the heater yet. So what I was doing was, I hadn't took the pipe off, waited for the pump to change tone, because it goes from quite a sharp click to a duller click as it gets fuel in it. So there probably wasn't quite enough fuel to get up to that burner on that attempt. So I'll clear that and give it a restart, and hopefully that should fire up. But it's all looking pretty good actually. It's just doing a cool down cycle. And you can see the pump there as well. New install, I tend to run it for quite a long time while I'm here. There's nothing worse than having to get called back. So got to look at the controller. It's still saying ST on there, so I need to reset that. Right, what did that say? Yeah, as I thought, a no start. So I've just cleared that error, give it a restart. I'm watching out for the exhaust gas temperature and the water temperature here, just to see that will tell me there's some combustion occurring. So just keep an eye on that for a minute. Getting close to the end now. Just shut it off on my laptop, or turn it off on my laptop, the control signal for start, and started it on the Webasto, the controller, so I know that's okay. Moving over to the laptop, I'm going to just do a fuel calibration now. So the cane is in there, get somewhere I can see it. It's just on a fresh air purge at the moment. Pop it in the exhaust and see if I can check or calibrate the CO2. You can't do unless you've got the gas analyzer and the software. If ever you change the burner, change the pump, do whatever, you'll never know if it's burning clean unless you can do those checks. So happy with that. We're at 55 degrees water temperature. We're on full power, 9100. Exhaust gas temperature is 440. Don't want to put my finger on that. So we just let that run away a little bit. So yeah, if you do need to adjust the CO2, you won't have the software, but if you do, basically you adjust it here. Yes, we know. You adjust it here to get the correct CO2 adjustment on the meter over there. So that's all okay. So I'm going to pull that out the exhaust, let that cool down. Right, boys, away. That didn't go too badly at all, really. All was as expected. A little bit of work, even though it was a swap from an ST to a Pro 90. So yeah, all the new wiring loom. As you've seen, the new exhaust muffler, silencer, new pump, new filter, all the stuff that goes with it. Calibrated all nicely at 10.5% CO2. Happy boy. So yeah, so that's that really. Hope you got something from that. What am I heading off to now? Yeah, have a look at the immersion heater. Yeah, the weekend I'll start a Dutch Barge, complete install from scratch, wiring loom, everything. Lithium install on a wide beam, and a 1200 watt solar install on a wide beam, same wide beam. So yes, busy boy. So yeah, I'll catch you next time, guys. Hope you enjoyed that or got something from it, bit of info. Check out Kingfisher-Marine, www.kingfisher-marine, if you want to have a look at the website, or find me on Facebook as well, Kingfisher Marine Electrical and Webasto. So there we go. Right, see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and yeah, catch you soon.